you're new to my channel, I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Wednesday! My February mid-month wrap-up. I read a total of 16 books for the first half of February. And just for the sake of length, the books that I've already talked about in my previous videos, I'm just gonna say my star ratings and direct you to those videos if you want to see my full thoughts on this book. I read in February was A Monster Romance by Lillian Lark. I like Lillian Lark's monster romances, and it is the third book in her series. It is called Enticed by the Bastesks, and it's about the heroine who works at this historical bookshop, and one day she opens a book and she gets cursed. She gets Medusa's curse put on her, so her hair turns into snakes, and she needs the help of her boss and her boss's partner, although they're kind of on a break right now. But what she doesn't know is that they're both basilisks, and she needs to move in with them in order to figure out how to remove this curse. And they tell her that they're not really human, that they're basilisks. So I realized while editing this video, I forgot to mention I also read Homecoming by Kennedy Ryan. It's a second chance romance between a popular photographer and a talk show host strictly business relationship who used to be friends in college, that they wanted to turn something more, but they never got the chance. Now, years later, they're 40 years old, and it's their second chance romance. I gave it 4 stars, only because it was a novella, and I really didn't feel that connection that I felt in other Kennedy Ryan books. Are not my thing. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I like Lillian Lark's monster romances. And the next 2 books I read is The Heartstrong Duet by Jennifer Hartman. The first book in this duet is called A Pessimist's Guide to Heartbreak, and it's about Lucy. And when Lucy was a little girl, she lived next door to Cal and her Cal sister, and they were her best friends growing up. But something happens when they turn 13, that something happens to Cal's sister. She dies. I'm not gonna tell you how she dies because that will spoil the duet. that situation happened, Lucy and Cal kind of had a thing. They were going to confess their feelings. But after that situation, that tragedy happened to his sister, they never got to fulfill their relationship. 9 years later, Lucy comes back to the small town and actually buy Cal's old house, the one he used to live in, and she gets a job as a receptionist at Cal's tattoo shop. And Cal says, "You can get the job as the secretary, but don't talk about my sister." And Cal tries to avoid any romantic feelings toward Lucy because Lucy reminds Cal of his sister, so he tries so hard to avoid her, but he can't because there's something about Lucy and that makes him want to open up to her. And Lucy just wants Cal to smile again. A Pessimist Guide to Love is the second book in that duet. I liked it. It is you get Cal's perspective on the second book and how he dealt with the situation with his sister and how he feels guilty about it. I gave the second book, A Pessimist Guide to Heartbreak, A Pessimist Guide to Love, 4 stars. I gave An Optimist Guide to Heartbreak 5 stars. No, 6 stars. I was very emotional in the first book, but I highly recommend this duet. The next 4 books, I'm just going to tell you my rating, because I have a video on the Simple Wild series, a series review by K.A. Tucker, but it was a reread for me, but I read Simple Wild, I gave 5 stars. Wild at Heart, I gave 4 stars. Forever Wild, I gave 4 stars. Running Wild, I read this book because of Cheyenne. She convinced me to read Running Wild. I gave 4 stars. 3 books I read is a series. It's The Wright Brothers by Christina C. Jones. And I read this series because of Bree from In Love and Words and Caitlin from The Love Librarian. And the first book is called Getting Schooled. And Getting Schooled is about Reese and Jason. Reese is her mom's teaching assistant because her mom is a professor in college, and Jason is one of her mom's students, and they meet at school when they bump into each other in the hallway, and at first their impression of each other is bad. Reese actually kind of gets she reads her mom's papers written by her students, and she really likes one of the papers that her mom's student writes, so they begin corresponding in emails. And once she finds out that Jason is the writer of those letters, they form a relationship, and it was very cute. And there's disability wrapped. Jason was in the military. He's an amputee. I thought it was really cute. The next book in that series is Pulling Double. It's a romance between a nurse and a doctor, and the nurse is Reese's best friend from book 1, getting schooled, and Joseph, Jason's older brother, and they work at a hospital together. Joseph is an OBGYN, and Reese and Devin, her name's Devin, is a nurse, and it's enemies to lovers. They do not get along in the workplace. Joseph is always antagonizing Devin, but because they work as a doctor and a nurse, they have to work together, and eventually they see each other as not that bad. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, same as Getting Schooled. It was very cute. The third book in that series is called Bending the Rules, and this we follow. The girl's name is Tori. I forgot it. But the other brother is a writer, and famous writer, and he's a single dad. And he used to be best friends with Tori, but they're not friends anymore since Jason, his name is not Jason, I don't know, since the hero decided to break ties with her publishing company and go to a bigger company. Years later, like 5 years later, 6 years later, Jason and Tori, his name is not Jason, the hero and Tori meet again when Tori is back in town to to help her parents' bookstore out, and Jason just wants to build their friendship back up again and let him explain the situation from his point of view, and he does. And it's their relationship. It's a second chance romance. A single dad. I give this book 3 stars, only because there were a lot of miscommunication issues for me. Like, all Jason wanted to do was tell Tori, I'm sorry, I called him Jason. His name is not Jason. All the hero wanted to do was tell Tori what really happened in the past, and she would not allow him to do that. And also, the hero was very wishy-washy about their feelings, because once they crossed that line of friendship, the hero kept going back and forth of, does he really want to risk this friendship over something physical? And he struggled with that throughout the whole book, and there was a lot of miscommunication. That's why I only gave this book 3 stars. Next, I read Whispers of You. I gave this 4 stars. The Right Move, I gave 6 stars. Final Offer, I gave 4 stars. These were all new releases, and if you want to know my thoughts on these new releases, please go watch my video. My video is called My Thoughts on the New Releases in Romance Books. I'll leave that video down below in the description. But can I just say, I love Ryan Shea and Indy so much. The Right Move is definitely my favorite book of the year. Please go watch my video to know my thoughts on all the new releases that I've read recently. Oh, Jasper Vale, I gave 3 stars, 3.5 stars. By Devin Perry. I would still recommend it, but my favorite is still Juniper Hill. And the last book I read is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. And I read this for Farafab, and I read this because a lot of booktubers I follow really love this book. Sam from Sam Reads a Little, Jessen, Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life, and Jess at Honest Fiction, and Jen from the Book Refuge all really love this book. And I have to say, I really like this book too. Daughter of No World is about Tasana, and she is a slave. She was stolen from her village, and now she's a slave. And her master said if she earns enough money, she can buy her freedom. And Tasana is she's a performer. She uses her magic to perform and earn money and other stuff. But when it's her time to buy back her freedom, her master does not allow her to get free. Now, Tasana's goal is to go back to her village and free her friends and free the village people. So when her master doesn't do that, she kills her master. She runs away to another country to join the order so she can learn how to do magic besides being a magical performer. But they want her to train with Max, an ex-soldier, before she can join. And that's basically the story, and it is so good, and the world building is excellent. I really enjoyed it. I gave it. No, I'm really enjoying it. Please, if you're looking for a fantasy romance, please read Daughter of No Worlds. Those are all the books that I read in the first half of February. Please let me know down below if you have read any of these books, and it would really mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you Friday. Bye!